are seldom blind to life's many horrors. In strength they trust and keep in mind the people lost and left behind. Your soul, they sharp blades, wise and cold.
Greetings to all of you in the language of love, the universal language. Beauty is the splendor of truth. Use your hearts for what your hearts are for. Fill them with light. Do not fill them with darkness. The light of the human heart, when it's given faith, if it were opened up, it would blind the world. May this message give us eyes with which to see, ears with which to hear, and hearts with which to love each other and to love the world and to do good.
You're not using your heart for what hearts are for. They've been trying to shut us down our whole life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living. Sometimes I feel like a stranger. Baby, I ain't from here. World going crazy. How could that be unclear? Know that I'm a soldier. Hearts on my battleground. Sword in the holster. Had to come back around. I ain't trying to hide away. I just had to meditate. I ain't got a lot to say. What the ancestors made. Speaking to the whole globe. Numbers don't occur to me. You can listen solo. Cause you're the whole world to me. I jump in with both feet. Nothing low key. You can find me where I'm supposed to be. Where my folks be. If you listen very closely, you know who chose me. Nothing that I own owns me, and so I'm so free. I remember being hungry, needing groceries, nighttime getting no sleep till my nose bleed. Got a message to the police. You're not using your heart for what hearts are for. They've been trying to shut us down our whole life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living. Not for 1 second, I believe what you're telling me. I know you invent the disease and sell the remedy. Universe is sending me centuries of memories. So the very breath that I breathe is all I ever need. I got that Muhammad Ali up in my pedigree. Yes, I be speaking my peace up in my 70s. Ain't worried about you threatening me. I'm just being honest. I ain't buying fear just because it's all you got left. We just wanna make love till we wake up. I believe whoever made us envisioned greatness. And you know they wanna paint us with the same brush. Wanna entertain us till we fill our grave up. Alright, okay, but when it's all said and it's all done, and I look back at the trophies I won, I will only count one. I'm using my heart for what hearts are for. They've been trying to shut us down our whole life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living, and I know who I am. I know whose I am. On your wings I fly, in your shoes I stand. I'm animated by love, I don't move by chance. Any stage I touch, any place I stand, there y'all land. Living in the world as it is, cracked vessel I am. No more and no less than a man. Any possessions that I have are just in my hand. I balance them the best that I can. I'm not making no claims, but I'm using my heart for
Hello.
what hearts are for.
Hi, Lala.
All the beauty in this whole life. I thank God for healing. And you ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own life.
Well, I don't know if my chat's
I
working
thank
from
God for
my
listening.
OBS.
Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own life. I thank God I'm living, just reflecting all the beauty in this whole life.
Also, I feel like I'm kind of yellow. Resin, not the microphone. Resin. Wow. Ah. That's right.
I don't know where to turn. In my head, I guess I'll never learn. They tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. I don't know where to turn. In my head, I guess I'll never learn. They tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. My goodness, good morning. You're still an apprentice. Every generation of MC with me, so I'm ill by consensus. You see what I speak, you touch it and feel it, all six of your senses. My mission is endless, I've been in this 10 and I'm still as relentless. Now build you a fence if you're feeling defensive. My power comes from the most high, Lord God of the globe, sky. Soul vibration is so fly, I can walk on water, no lie. Champion author, small fry, rock of Gibraltar, north side. Serving this culture, mind I confide that I'm here to assault ya. I got some money in the bank that I did not have when I started. Got a little money up in my hands, I do not have money in my heart. I'm standing on champion greatness. I cannot claim it cause that's the creator. I stand up and state it. That's not bragging, it's praying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where to turn.
How are you doing?
In my head, I guess I'll never learn. They tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. I don't know where to turn. In my head, I guess I'll never learn. Tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. Yeah, have it. Yeah, well, I do. I was standing on stage when my hero died. Feel the heartbeat of my people's cry. Nation 1933 bow ties. Light of the Dean gleaming in your eyes. Even when the tears flow down both sides, you know I sacrificed your whole life. You can go ahead, let your soul fly, cause the whole tribe bloodline flow through mine. Listen, we love to fight, cause we fight but love the poor righteous sons where the diamonds from. Libraries are transcribing us, and our ancestors are more alive than us. Put down everything you're trying to clutch, your undying lust to see the climate just. Baby, we ride till our time is up. That's just the divine in us. I don't know where to turn. In my head, I guess I'll never learn. They tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. I don't know where to turn. In my head, I guess I'll never learn. They tell me I should let it bleed, let it sting, let it burn. Get my head firm. Don't know where. Get my head firm. In my head, I guess I never know. Get my head firm.
Hi,
Hi, Valley. How are you? I'm doing more RuneSpan because I'm trying to get enough points for the robe top.
Greetings to all of you in the language of love, the universal language. Beauty is the splendor of truth. Use your hearts for what your hearts are for. Fill them with light. Do not fill them with darkness. The light of the human heart, when it's given faith, if it were opened up, it would blind the world. May this message give us eyes with which to see, ears with which to hear, and hearts with which to love each other and to love the world and to do good.
How many more do I need? I think it's like 15k, so quite a bit.
You're not using your heart for what hearts are for.
I
They've been
also
trying to
ordered
shut us
something
down our
with
whole
the
life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living. Sometimes I feel like a stranger. Maybe I ain't from here. World going crazy. How could that be unclear? Know that I'm a soldier. Hearts on my battleground. Sword in the holster. Had to come back around. I ain't trying to hide away. I just had to meditate. I ain't got a lot to say. What the ancestors made. Speaking to the whole globe. Numbers don't occur to me. You can listen solo. Cause you're the whole world to me. I jump in with both feet. Nothing low key. You can find me where I'm supposed to be. Where my folks be. If you listen very closely, you know who chose me. Nothing that I own owns me. And so I'm so free. I remember being hungry, needing groceries, nighttime getting no sleep till my nose bleed. Got a message to the police. You're not using your heart for what hearts are for. They've been trying to shut us down our whole life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living. Not for 1 second, I believe what you're telling me. I know you invent the disease and sell the remedy. Universe is sending me centuries of memories. So the very breath that I breathe is all I ever need. I got that Muhammad Ali up in my pedigree. Yes, I be speaking my peace up in my 70s. Ain't worried about you threatening me. I'm just being honest. I ain't buying fear just because it's all you got left. We just wanna make love till we wake up. I believe whoever made us envisioned greatness. And you know they wanna paint us with the same brush. Wanna entertain us till we fill our grave up. Alright, okay, but when it's all said and it's all done, and I look back at the trophies I won, I will only count one. I'm using my heart for what hearts are for. They've been trying to shut us down our whole life. I thank God for healing. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. Thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living, and I know who I am. I know whose I am. On your wings I fly, in your shoes I stand. I'm animated by love, I don't move by chance. Any stage I touch, any place I stand, there y'all land. Living in the world as it is, craft vessel I am. No more and no less than a man. Any possessions that I have are just in my hand. I balance them the best that I can. I'm not making no claims, but I'm using my heart for what hearts are for. All the beauty in this whole life. I thank God for healing. And you ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God for listening. Listen, you've been trying to build me up my whole life. I thank God for building. You ain't gotta get me lit, I got my own light. I thank God I'm living, just reflecting all the beauty in this whole life.
I'm not in beauty and body art right now. I should go to RuneScape. I'm not doing the beauty or the body art. I'm doing the escape and runes. Been really in the feels lately the past couple days, guys. RuneScape's been hitting this spot.
That little kid in the windows looking out at the winter like, this whole world is mine if I could get this bitch to shine. There's no kind of friction to find, cause ain't nobody running toward the same finish line. Looking at the dirty snow on the street make you believe everybody must have just adjusted to the grief. Choose what you use to motivate yourself. You can either hate me or you can hate yourself. Can't trust your fears. You spent a whole bunch of years being judged by peers. All you wanted was to touch my ears and get inside of my head like, what the fuck's in here? Had to take space from the hazardous waste, save the rags for acid rain flashbacks. If it could wash off that awful toxic aftertaste, maybe that could replace all your trash bags. Baby, I don't know, but you obviously feeling yourself, and that's a beautiful thing. I hope you're real with yourself, cause all we got is ourselves and these mouths to feed, and those keys on your belt that held you down on your knees. Whatever, dog, I'm not the underdog, I'm just a side effect of following my thumbs through the fog. I'm out of here, all apologies to your kids, your whole forest on fire, hollering about the bridge. And everybody trying to do their best, but everybody's best didn't take the same piss test. I guess I should expect resentment affects perspective and context. And you perfected your bomb threats. Yeah, we get high and we gon' die, but either way those leaves don't lie. And as the seasons go by, more friends say bye. Less luggage makes it easier to fly. And when the trees turn to skeletons, listen, you can hear the bones rattle in the wind. It's a delicate condition. Everything's gotta go if you wanna know what's underneath the skin. We all have the capacity to take it there, but if I'm gonna use gravity to take it there, that's a delicate condition. I'm not in the position to tell you how you live it. And when the trees turn to skeletons, listen, you can hear the bones rattle in the wind. It's a delicate condition. Everything's gotta go if you wanna know what's underneath the skin. We all have the capacity to
good though.
me losing my mind. And all these bright lights, they got me going blind. And all these bright lights, they got me losing my mind. And all these bright lights, they got me going blind. And all these bright lights, they got me losing my mind. And all these bright lights, they got me going blind. And all these bright lights, they got me losing my mind.
Okay, back. I got the root beer and ice cream, but I put the root beer in the fridge and the ice cream in the fridge. Right now I have Cocoa Puffs. What's up, Lilac? Cocoa Puffs and RuneScape right now. How are you doing, Lilac?
Oh, my bad. Is that better?
Cocoa Puffs and RuneScape, yep. I'm trying to get this wicked hood. Not hood, robe. Nice, Lilac. What games are you playing? Like D&D? Or you make your own games? You have to play on an MP blood. Oh my god. Nice.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Zodiac Moon series. The moon in astrology represents our inner world and inner experience. It also represents our emotions. Your moon sign also represents what you truly crave and need from other people and what you need to actually feel fulfilled. So it's always good to also study the moon sign of your partner so you can really see if you guys can connect on an emotional and mental level. So guys, I am a Cancer moon and this is my favorite placement of my birth chart. I love that I'm a Cancer moon. I feel like the true representation of the Cancer moon. They say that if you have your moon in Cancer, that your Cancer traits will most likely be more evident than your sun sign traits. And this is because the moon is ruled by Cancer. It's a very gifted moon placement, I have to say. But I'm gonna delve into it. I have a lot to share, but I wanted to start by just showing some celebrities with a Cancer moon placement. Drake, Jimi Hendrix, Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler, A$AP Rocky,
I have
Big Sean,
Cancer moon and Cancer
Dave
rising.
Chappelle, Keanu Reeves, Robert Pattinson, and Mariah Carey. The Cancer moon energy is a mystical, mysterious, and calm energy. People that have a Cancer moon possess this calmness about them. If you have a Cancer moon, then most likely you attract a lot of people that are seeking healing, love, and care. You have this natural, nurturing, and loving energy. There's just something about you, this pure energy that people need.
Virgo moon,
to
Kakato?
want to have. So you will notice as a Cancer moon that people come to you to share their story, ask advice. People will come to you when they are in pain, when they just need some healing, when they just need someone to talk to, right? When they need a listening ear, they go to their Cancer moon. Another gift of a Cancer moon is that they can actually feel other people's emotions. So when I sit next to someone, it's very interesting, guys. Let me know if you guys have this. When I sit next to someone, when I talk to someone, I feel what they are feeling. So if they are nervous, I feel nervous. When they are angry, anxious, whatever the case may be, I feel that. Even if somebody would smile and pretend like everything is okay,
Hi,
I can
Travis.
literally feel what that person is feeling in front of me. This is truly a
How are you
gift
doing?
of a Cancer moon. To really connect with
What's your
people
sun sign,
emotionally,
Lilac?
is
And you're
to
rising, if you mind.
feel them, is to understand them, understand what they're going through, understand their pain,
I
their
think my
suffering.
Venus is
And
Gemini.
that's all that we want as human beings. Is we want to be
My sun is Gemini
understood.
too.
We want to be loved, appreciated, cared
Nice.
for.
I hope that was
This
lovely.
is the Cancer moon. This is the gift of the Cancer moon. Finding that emotional connection with someone.
I don't think I have any Sagittarius either.
Check this with yourself. How do you connect with people? It is not mentally. It is not spiritually. It is not physically. It is emotionally. This is how people connect to you, and this is what you actually seek in other people. Your deepest desire is
Nice.
to feel connected emotionally with someone. This is also
What kind of
why
ocean friends? Like
a
fishies?
Cancer moon cannot enjoy.
Or humans?
Physical
Or
sex.
dolphins?
He can do it.
I
but
can
it
see
will
the
not
Virgo.
fulfill him,
Well, I've
because
just
the
spoken to you
Cancer
through
moon
text online,
seeks
but
that emotional bond, a deep bond.
and I can also
Guys,
see the
I
Leo.
had sex with another Cancer moon, and I didn't know that at the time, but it was so interesting because he literally felt what I needed, and it was like we were healing each other, we were connecting emotionally together. We understood each other, right? And this is what the Cancer moon seeks in relationships, and it is hard to find. And so what you will see or notice is that Cancer moons, they
Nice.
don't
I
like
like that.
casual sex. They can do it. They don't enjoy it. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. It's just that's not enough for you. That will not fulfill you. You need more. Now, another great gift of the Cancer moon is that they are naturally funny.
Oh, I could see the
You will
Leo
see
for
that
sure
a
in you,
lot of
Kagato.
actors and comedians have a Cancer moon. All right, and we love to entertain people, make people feel good, and being silly, and Cancer moons just know how to make people laugh, know how to make people feel good. Cancers do have the ability to shift energy in the room, right? So if the
For
Cancer
sure.
wants to make people feel good and make people laugh, they actually know how to do it. They actually know how to represent that energy, embody that energy, right? Cancer moon people are very nostalgic, and they truly live in the past. They relive memories, the greatest memories. They can play
Listen.
that over and over in their minds. Can you guys relate? Because I have this a lot. And
Listen, lady, you wanna have some brunch sometime. You wanna have some tea.
but I can just replay
Oh
my
man.
best
Oh,
moments
whoa.
over and over
Press
again.
button.
And I don't want to leave there. I don't want to. I truly live in the past, and I want to stay in the past, right? I want to stay in fantasy land. I want to stay in a dream.
I'm crying. I'm
This is
sorry.
very Cancer moon like. Cancer moons also have a really hard time with letting go and detaching, guys. Once a Cancer moon falls in love, and this is pretty easily, they get attached.
Listen.
And
I'm getting
they
exposed
get
so hard right
attached
now.
emotionally. They usually form a trauma bond, and this is why they cannot let go of their lovers, of experiences. They cling onto the other person, right? Just like the crab. So, Cancer moons have a really hard time with letting go, and they love very deeply. Very deeply. What you will notice with Cancer moons is that they usually give more to other people than to themselves. They tend to love other people
sorry,
more than they love themselves. And it's because a lot of Cancer moons do not live to gain. They live to give. And some people take advantage of that. And also, Cancer moons sometimes do not navigate who deserves that type of love and affection and care.
This lady.
So Cancer moon specifically, tend to give too much to
All right,
other
Nikita.
people,
Nikita
sometimes to the
Maxwell.
wrong people.
I'm
as
subscribing
well.
to you.
And they tend to neglect
Show me the way, baby.
themselves. The Cancer moon is the ride or die chick, the ride or die guy, right? You can always count on a Cancer moon.
Damn.
Once we let you in, once we love you and care for you, we will protect you, we will love you, we will be there. And this is such a beautiful thing about the Cancer energy, right? It's so nurturing. It's what we need. It's what the world needs right now.
Bruh.
And Cancer moons.
But I
give
feel
a lot of
so
chances to
misunderstood. The fuck?
people. We do not let go easily. But when you take advantage of us,
Good, Lilac.
we will
We
become
need that.
so cold.
Love you so
As
much.
if we never knew you. We might still suffer inside and think about you and reminisce about the good days, but when you really mistreat us and we are fed up, we're gone. We become very cold and very distant.
Good night, Foman.
This is
Sorry for
very
killing your
Cancer-like.
ears.
So, and you will
For
miss
sure. Have a good night.
our presence for sure. Like that is something that I think people underestimate, because a lot of people take advantage of that Cancer energy, right? They assume that love and care is always going to be there, but no. When the Cancer learns boundaries, because this is what the Cancer needs to learn. When the Cancer learns boundaries and self-love, he will know when to stop giving. You will learn when enough is enough. And you don't want to get to know that cold Cancer. That is like, you don't want to go that far. But what also can happen with a Cancer moon is that they can shut down completely. And this is what happened to me. I was so
Yes.
fed up of people hurting me and breaking
Yes,
my heart and
Travis.
mistreating me that I just became so cold and so protective of my energy and my heart, right?
Oof.
To the point that it was too much even, and I didn't
Oof.
even know how to open up again.
Oof.
And this is, I think, what happens a lot with Cancers and Cancer moons. It's like we give and we give and we give, usually to the wrong person, and then it's hard for us to open our heart again, right? It's so hard for us, and it will take months before we trust you. Like, we will not share our secrets with you. We will not do it. You will not know our deepest secrets. We stay mysterious. we keep a lot of thoughts and feelings to ourselves. It's also because people, this is just my opinion, but some people cannot handle my inner world, I feel like. Some people take advantage of it. And I truly also feel like some people do not understand it. Understand what I'm going through or what I'm feeling or why I'm feeling so much or so deeply. Only people with water energy truly understands what a Cancer moon goes through. Like a Pisces, a Scorpio, they know, right? And
Scorpio, water sign?
this is why we love to connect to water signs, I think. It's just because we get each other. And a lot of people that do not have water energy, they just usually think that we are too much and too emotional and too dramatic and, you know. But no, it's just that we love in a way that is so deep. You will definitely feel when a Cancer moon is not in your presence anymore, because the love that they give is very unique and special.
Like,
and
I've
it's
been
very
told-
pure. It's very pure.
Oh, wait until she wraps up. Okay. Like, I've been told, by friends in my life that I, like, see the world through rose-colored glasses. And, it's not like, it's like that, I guess, like, it can be perceived like that, but there's, like, I feel like it can come off, like, that emotionalness and that, like, empathy and, like, deep connection with emotions can come off as, like, naive or, like, passive or, you know, but there's so many layers to it, and for a long time, I would, like, kind of, like, feel like, hey, thank you. Thank you, Travis, for subscribing with Prime. I appreciate you. I would feel like that is a bad thing, that is like a weakness, that I'm too emotional or I'm too much. Yeah, and I resonated with every single thing she said, and it's just like it's just a different energy, a different way of being. It doesn't make me bad or anyone else bad because they don't experience reality in the same way that I do, but I just have learned within myself to really trust, like, why I experience reality in the way that I do, and, like, the gift in that. And it's not, like, naive, it's just, yeah, different. Thank you so much, Travis. I'm having trouble imagining Cassie not sharing. Valley, what do you mean? Like sharing, like, online, or, like, oversharing, or, like, just sharing within friends, or what do you mean by that? But I mean, same. I'm, like, it's just very within my nature to share and give and want community and empathy and all the things. Travis, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Lilac. Stutter, thank you for following. Yeah. So I saw a meteor shower last night, guys, and it was really beautiful. And the moon is in Cancer right now, and I'm feeling all the feels, and just, yeah, learning more about astrology and myself. And yeah, at least here you tend to be very open, and the lady was talking about people being very closed off. So I guess, like, my leaves of absence have been like that, where it's like I'll feel, like, deeply misunderstood, and, like, kind of alienated, so I will take time off from streaming because a lot of the world does not operate from, like, that standpoint. And within friends or, like, lovers or, like, people in my life, like, I can be very, very generous and open, but then once I see that, like, either taken advantage of or, like, not valued, like, I definitely can close. But it's like, even when I close, I'm still very open, which in the past, like, has definitely led to people, like, not treating me the best. But yeah, I've definitely, like, learned boundaries a lot more now that I'm, like, 27. But yeah, okay, I'm asking this because I'm genuinely curious. Your title made me feel like you know about astrology. It recently got broken up with out of nowhere. No. Then someone told me about a retrograde. Then, like, 10 people I know got broken up with. So what is a retrograde and how does it stop? So, our Venus, our lovely planet, okay, so let me preface this with, I am not an astrology expert. I have been learning the past few years, but I'm not an expert. It never stops. We're always in cycles and different phases and stages of death and rebirth and all that beautiful stuff. So yeah, our lovely planet Venus, which is the planet that rules, like, love and relationships, is retrograding. So it's like, what I've gathered from it is, like, revisiting, like, old patterns, old relationships, like the way you love. Yeah, if it's not Venus, it's Mars, it's Mercury, it's all the Gatorades. But I believe we're gonna be in that up until September, and I have also seen a lot of breakups. I've also been going through a lot of, like, relationship cycles and, like, revisiting old patterns and oh, that shit. What I'm hearing is I'm throwing hands with Venus. I'm tweeting Elon Musk right now. Yeah, so take it up with Venus, and yeah, just every ending is a new beginning, though, at the same time. I'm personally choosing not to make any, like, really intense decisions because I know the Venus be Gatorating. yeah, and we have a new moon though coming up. We just went through, I think today was or yesterday was the last day of the Lionsgate portal. Genuinely, out of nowhere, no fights, no talking, just got home and I'm, damn, bro, sorry. That is rough. Much love to you, dude. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, people react differently. I don't know what was going on with y'all, but it's definitely like, in the air. It's definitely in the air. People are like coming to realizations and making shifts and everything's in a blender. Yeah, man. There's a blue moon this month. I'm not sure what that has to do with it either. Let's learn more. Let me just look this up. What does the Venus retrograde really mean? Let me see if I can find a good video for us. This is 3 hours long. That's too long.
Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Bahati Life YouTube channel. My name is Jessica Alexandria. If we're meeting for the first time,
I am playing RuneScape. What's up,
Riku?
Riku?
With me, and this is Franklin here, and that is my ice machine dropping some new fresh chunks of ice. I hope that you are well. There's a lot to talk about today, and
just that person talking about retrograde. I was like, I'm not gonna listen. Then bam, bam, bam. Damn, bro. The stars are out here doing shit.
What does this mean for you?
Stuff's going on that we're not always fully aware of, but I feel like the energy shifts for sure.
So when this planet goes retrograde, this means that the energy that it would normally be giving to us, pouring into us, it then says, you know what, I'm gonna take a break on this. I'm gonna pull within, I'm gonna retreat, and things around us kind of end up getting canceled. What does this mean for love relationships or how you feel about yourself? Well, that's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to discuss. So having said that, go ahead and grab some coffee, grab a tea, grab a glass of water or a snack, whatever it is that you're vibing with, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Like I said, Venus retrograde is
crying frequently is a talent to be admired. Oh my god, honey, the other night I didn't know I had that many tears inside of me.
Pull its energy back inward. It will draw its energy internal. What does this mean for us? This means that wherever it was originally pouring into, or how it was originally showing
damn,
up,
bro, that really
switch,
sucks.
flip, and go back. Now, Venus currently is moving through the sign of Leo, which is beautiful regardless of your sun.
Just something to be aware of, yeah.
Leo does
I definitely wasn't into astrology going through my last
of your chart, your natal
my
chart,
last
and
breakup.
also a chunk
I
of
was
your
not
life.
that much into
I
it.
want to encourage you, of course, to do your own
I mean, though,
legwork and
like,
pull the chart up and see what Leo.
My last partner though was actually a girl. She was amazing. I love her so much. We definitely came into some road bumps, and she's kind of one of the people who started getting me into astrology. She also had a Cancer moon, and we were both very emotional beings. Love her so much. But I feel like if I would have known more about astrology, I would have been a little bit better prepared. But I love her, and I hope she's doing great wherever she's at. But the relationship before that one, didn't know anything about it. Went in completely blind, and like looking at it in hindsight, there are a lot of things that I've learned about astrology that resonate deeply with it. And I'm like, if only
this
I would have known.
Little squiggly line, and I'm gonna link it down below so that you can see it. What that rules in your life. Look to see the pie slice of the chart, what number
good,
it rules.
yeah, like when you cry, it can really like make you feel a lot more clear after. It's good to cry. It does not describe me at all. Some of the descriptions don't resonate with me. Like, it's like where I get it from. Also, I'm curious, Valley, what's your
I'll also put a little description
your sun,
of each one of those
rising,
numbers
and
down
moon,
below,
if you want to share.
or even pin them in the comments so you can see. But for the most part, that's where this energy is going to be returning its energy back in. That's where its energy is going to go within. So, how this can impact you overall is we'll see a hyper focus.
Let me find a good astrology website. Thank you for the follow. Gemini, Aquarius. An ascendant in Leo, apparently. I can see that for you, though, Valley. I can see that. Hi, Weaver. Hi, Ambient. Yay, Weaver. Thanks for the info dump. Lilac, what astrology
on
site do you use?
relationships, love, connection.
I've used a bunch of different
chemistry,
ones.
all of those things naturally get called into question. So you may find yourself
I just don't know what one's
reflecting
the best.
or reliving certain moments or conversations or the vibe of the relationship. Does it still feel like a good connection? Does there feel like there's something absent here? Are we missing intimacy?
I think I was
Are
born
we
in the
missing
year of the rat.
conversation, connection, those types of things.
Yes,
If you're
we're
in a
talking about
relationship,
astrology.
If you are single, this is where your
I know you could do it on
mind can
Snapchat.
drift back to past connections, past relationships. This can even happen if you're in a relationship, to be honest with you. But our minds kind of drift back to the past. We're reliving,
You're typing with your
reconsidering, or
toes.
being re-triggered or brought
Love
back
it.
to conversations, connections, dynamics, dilemmas of the past that our subconscious might still be digesting, might still need to fully understand. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that you have to go back and relive that connection, reach out to that person? Not necessarily. If I were you, I would follow the lead of Venus, and as she is retracing and going back within, I would follow her steps and I would do the same thing. Maybe not necessarily go and chase past connections or chase or pursue.
Okay, so you want to look up your birth
problems of
chart,
the
essentially.
past. I would allow myself to sit with it, reflect on it, and give myself extra ample space and room to digest the feelings that are being brought up during this Venus retrograde. Now, this is just exclusively relationships. What about the relationship that we have with ourselves? Don't forget that Venus does rule beauty and aesthetic. So this is one of those times where, especially in the sign of Leo, we might have this trait show up in a way in our lives where this is what we need to feel beautiful. This is what we need to feel like we have worth or value or we're significant or worth looking at or worth listening to, worth hearing or worth expressing. Whatever that looks like for you. For example, for me, I feel good. I feel great when I have, no makeup on my face and conditioner in my hair, or I'm walking around in a romper, this cotton romper from Rihanna's line, Savage X Fenty. Not sponsored by this video, or not sponsoring this video, but just side note, holy crap, this romper is fire. I'll link it down below. But yeah, I just feel really good.
Yeah, I'm still
typically
learning
in
about
my
the houses
skin.
and
But
whatnot, too.
If I'm going to present myself to the world, I feel even better and I feel confident and I feel beautiful in a new way, a striking way, when I draw on my eyebrows, or I put blush on my face, or mascara, or I slick my hair, whatever the case is, or allow my hair to be curly and do what it does. So it just depends on how I present to the world, and that energy shows, it helps me to feel good about myself. Let's say there's certain ways that you show up or things that you're drawn to or attracted to. This could be open to further discussion or exploration. That might be changing, especially now with so many planets retrograde, or with the evolution, the growth, the
What other
transformation that
planets are
already
retrograde
occurred.
right now? What
Does
the
how
heck,
you are
man?
presenting or how you're taking care of yourself, does it reflect who you are now? And in the spiritual community, there's
Maybe
this
from another country. Well, you just put
sometimes,
your birthplace
aggression,
in
I wanna
there
say, or
and your birth time.
microaggression or tension when we go so deep.
Here,
and
this
then we
website
talk about these superficial
is
things
the one I'm
like our
using
appearance
currently.
or stuff,
It's called
or money or values.
horoscopes.
Are we allowed to talk about those things? Well, of course we are. Even though we're spiritual beings, we're still human beings. And when you look around, there's a certain aesthetic of my home. Does this mean that I'm putting on a front or that I lack depth? No, this is just what makes me feel comfortable. And this is when I come home, the beauty and the energy of the space gives life to me, and it makes me feel comfortable. So that's also something that you do for yourself on how you dress up, how you show up for the world, but also your environment. Does the environment's aesthetic, does it express, does it support, does it nourish you, does it feel good for you? If not, Venus retrograde is a time to kind of shift that vibe and make it match how you feel within. Having said that, Venus retrograde, Franklin's like, I'm out. I love him and his independent nature. Speaking of Leos, right? Having said that, let's say let's say you look around at your environment and it feels very blank. During the retrograde season or cycle, this would be a wonderful time for you to say, you know what, I could do some redecorating and some sprucing up of this energy or a sprucing up of this area. Or, you know, I haven't really, or maybe it's reverse. Maybe you're always putting on makeup or dressing up and, you know, doing whatever, putting this on this elaborate. And the best thing that you need right now is to actually take it all off, to cleanse yourself, to wipe it off, to allow yourself to be bare, natural, and just radiate in that. Just honestly radiate in that, and taking good care of yourself on that way too. For everyone, it's going to be totally different. Speaking of shopping and money and spending, I do want to say that for some of you guys, this is a wonderful time for you to go into resale, consignment shopping, selling things. This is a wonderful time to declutter your closet. Go in there, especially some of you guys are manifesting your partners. I've been hearing and seeing that a lot lately, especially with Pluto retrograde, that you're really trying to connect.
It
with
is.
people,
There's so
connections,
much to
and
it.
deeper levels
Like
of
literally,
intimacy
bro.
in your connections and your relationships. I
There's a
fully support
lot
that.
on there that
One
I
way to
do
do that is
not
actually
understand
to
what it's
declutter
supposed
your
to mean
closet,
yet.
to declutter your space.
I'm
and
not
make
an
room for your
expert.
partner to come in. I've actually had that conversation recently. Well, maybe not recently, but recently enough with someone, a new friend, and she's doing the same thing because she senses that the love of her life is about to come through, and honestly, I sense it too for her. So what I tell her to do, I said, girl, if you don't go in there and clean your closet out and make room for him to come through, because it's a husband that she can sense and that she's looking for, then I don't know what to tell you. So this is a wonderful time for you to do that as well. I don't see many of us throwing things away. You can resell if you're also looking to make extra money. Venus retrograde is a wonderful time. It's a natural time for people to start thrifting, consignment, cleansing, detoxing their stuff, putting things in the thrift, giving things to the thrift store, or donating things. This is a wonderful time to tap into those types of energies. It's going to feel really good for you. Having said that, on the flip side, as you are decluttering, you might also feel called to gather some little valuable odds and ends or things of value to you. It could be things very small, like a plushie, like a teddy bear, or something very significant, like a rock, like a diamond, or something that has greater value to it. Venus retrograde rules these little tiny things that we can put our hands on, that we feel drawn to. We don't necessarily need them in our life, but we want them in our lives, and they make us happy. So as Venus retrograde is happening, don't be surprised if you find yourself kind of curious and looking to see what other people are donating or selling. Stores like, I think, Macari or Poshmark are things that I've looked at, or higher end things like Tradesy, which I think got bought by Vestaire, or consignment shopping locally, especially as this planet is transiting through the sign of Leo. Now, let's move on to the next category that I want to talk to you guys about, that Leo naturally rules dramatics and theatrics and just expression and art and dance and music and just life. Now, again, do we necessarily need it to survive? No, but it makes life worth living when there's beauty and music and sight and sound all around us in our environment. So for some of you guys, this is a wonderful time to infuse or reconnect or rediscover new elements of play and expression that make life, again, just so rich and worth living. As I say that, my chicken just popped his head out. He was like, something that could help me make life worth living, feel like life is worth living, is corn. You bringing corn? Like, he's literally
definitely,
just
Lilac.
peeping his head around the corner. Anyway, guys, side note, right? Totally distracted. What am I missing? Oh, money.
Glad to be able to
So,
share something about it,
I just
Tranquil.
talked about
Hello.
shopping
How are
and
you doing?
spending and thrifting and regifting, and I need to talk to you guys about money. Now, that's one thing that
Yeah, it's
I
really
think that
sad
we
what happened
sometimes
there.
skim over with Venus, is how it actually connects to, I don't want to say the value of the dollar, but like where we're spending and how that spending impacts our bank, our budget, our sense of stability. It always kind of bleeds out. Every single aspect of our life will weave itself in one way or another into the other, because everything is so connected. So of course money is here within the chart. So there is a really strong suggestion.
This is the video I'm
that
watching if you guys want to check it out, by the way.
redoing your budget and evaluating your lifestyle and where your money is going and flowing, that needs to be addressed, or your eyes just need to look towards that a little more, a little closer. You could have 1 million subscriptions. Do you need every single one of those subscriptions to all the many different apps on your phone? Go on your phone, kind of reassess what still needs to keep draining your resources and your money, and what can be cut off because you no longer use it, or it doesn't have the value that you thought that it would bring into your life. This is where you reassess those pits that you don't want them to trip you up later on. Now, I do want to finish off by saying that there's always this question about, like, what happens with my relationships, Jess? You know, can I find love during Venus retrograde time? Absolutely yes. I have seen and I've coached people through, and I've looked at people's charts and said that, listen, you're going to meet your partner. Your chart is prime for you to meet your partner. The whole world is going to tell you that Venus retrograde is happening and that love can't happen or it won't last. That is simply not the case. Every chart is different. Every circumstance is different. I would rather take the risk and put myself out there and try to find love, especially if the chart is supporting it, versus allow that moment to pass and then never know. So can you find love? Yes. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. Love is always, real love, true love is always worth pursuing. If you do find love during this time, it may have a little turbulence. Of course, all relationships do, but it tends to bring the turbulence to the forefront from the jump, and it gives you the opportunity, if you're open-minded, to see it, to learn, to explore. God bless you. To see it, to learn, to explore, and to do a little different with what you learn about your new person, what you learn about yourself. Now, in your current
really,
relationships,
Twilight?
does Venus
What the
retrograde lead
fuck?
to breakups? Honestly, it
Where did
can.
you
Does it
find me
always? No.
initially? Instagram?
What it will do is it will bring up certain issues.
I'm definitely,
problems,
like, you know, there's a
conversations,
long way to
dynamics,
go
and
with
sometimes
where I
it's not
want
always
to
bad
be
stuff.
as far as that
Sometimes it's just
goes.
stuff
I'd
that
love
you've
to make
been-
more,
you
like,
keep putting off,
content
maybe date night,
about
just
stuff
getting
that I
pushed
think
off
is
because you guys are
informative
both
and helpful. But right now, all I do is really share, so
successful
it means a
entrepreneurs,
lot
and you guys
that
have to go out of your way
means
to make
something.
time
Thank
for
you.
each other, to sit down and have a date night. You know, I can totally attest to that in my own relationship. One of the reasons why I asked for him specifically was not only because he's adorable.
I gave
but
you a follow
because
back
we're
on Twitch,
both
by the way.
Business owners, where it takes a strong. If you guys hear any heavy breathing, the microphone is right here, and Franklin is just sat down in front of the microphone, and he is notorious for snorting. But anyways, I specifically wanted someone who understood
Cool.
that my business is a huge part of my world.
Guessing on
if
the
not
spicy
whole-
places then.
whole
Damn.
thing, you know, for me
Right
sometimes,
on.
and
That
to
see,
not
like, I
be
love
threatened
that
by that, but
transition,
also
because
understand it, but be
you know,
excited,
kind of started streaming
you know,
on
because he
like
has his own
sites like
stuff,
that.
and I just can't relate
So
to
people
someone
following me
who
over
is
to
a
the
dreamer and
safer
not an actor and
workplaces
not a
to
doer.
hear, you know, my
He
heart, what I
is
have to say, maybe
100%.
play some
He
games
goes
with me is
for
really
it.
cool.
He goes hard. I have a crazy work ethic. I don't think in my entire 36 years, I've met a lot of people ranging all different ages, all different parts of the U.S.
I think I'm gonna
specifically.
smoke a little
I've
bowl
never
of
met anyone
weed,
with a work
guys,
ethic
and then maybe
as
make a
hard as
root
he
beer
goes. It
float.
is insane.
Sounds
I
like a
look at
good
him and I'm
plan.
just like, it makes me look at myself. That's how you know. But I look at him, I'm like, I don't know how he does it. Like, but he does it. And then I look at myself and I'm like, girl, you're doing the same thing. But having said that, Venus retrograde, just a little example to put my own intimate life out there, because you guys know I don't share details about my personal life, but I'm feeling more comfortable with that lately. But yeah, in my own, just for an example, that would be this Venus retrograde doesn't necessarily have to bring in problems. It can bring in excuses for you to reconnect, for you to find like another reason to be like, oh yeah, we did say we were going to do this. Let's prioritize that. Let's do that. Or
Hey, I'm gonna
you know
smoke
what,
some weed
let's
in
just
between
sit
the
on
Cocoa Puffs and the
sofa
root beer
and
float,
let's,
okay?
You know, that's the one thing that works for us, but for everyone's different. But we just love quality
Hey,
time.
yeah,
and
it's
we're
a good
physical
stream.
touch people,
RuneScape
this
feels
is the
root
time to
beer.
reconnect, and it could be a very beautiful thing.
I had Chinese
Let's say
food
there
tonight.
are issues,
I'm
conversations,
feeling very soft
points
today, yeah.
of contention, I guess, where you guys butt heads, you don't agree, or an unresolved issue. 9 times out of 10, or I'll say this, 7 times out of 10, that issue will come up during Venus retrograde. If not clearly in your face, then at least in the back of your mind. So this is an opportunity to begin to at least consider how you might approach this conversation with your partner. And also, this doesn't have to be directly towards your relationship. It could also be your relationship with yourself. So having said that, with Leo energy, this is where we feel like, you know, how do you feel seen in this world? Do you feel like you have to overcompensate? Do you feel like you're seen? Do you feel like you're heard? And in order to get that value, in order to get that attention, which we all need.
Going into
some of you guys
that
are like,
that
"Oh, I don't
bagel
need
like a
attention from
lion.
anybody anywhere." The truth is that as human beings, we do need
And a
attention.
gazelle.
We can't be invisible. Imagine walking this earth feeling completely invisible. Like, some of you guys can relate to that. It's not okay. That's not comfortable. That's not good. So this
Bagel
brings
with
the
cream
light
cheese.
to you so that you
Yum.
can be seen and loved for who you are from your heart, not by what you do, what you give, how you show up, how you appear. And this, specifically this retrograde, will say that you are not what you look like. You are not what you purchase. You are not what you give to others. You are worth and deserving so much more, and that comes unconditional. It should be unconditional love. And Leo energy rules the 5th house. It rules our children. It rules what we create and how proud we are of that. Let that be something that comes with no restriction and no wires or things that pull us back. You know what I mean? Like, I gave this to you and now you owe me this. It's just like, I gave this to you because you make me happy. I give this to myself.
Naturally.
No strings
Naturally.
attached to it. No.
Thank you so much for the raid, love. How was your
Shit like that. You're not a
stream?
puppet that's just dancing
Thanks
around
for
for someone
rating
else's
me.
benefit. That you're here on Earth and you're living your life because
Appreciate you.
you know,
Hi.
and it brings you joy and it makes you
Guys,
happy.
go
and
follow
that's
Nature
really honestly what I'm
Alley.
setting intention for you during this
Hope
Venus
I'm saying that
retrograde
right.
time. So is it very reflective? Yes. Is it all doom and
Nice.
gloom? No. Is it something that I look forward to?
Dope.
Yes. Is it something that you can look forward to?
Enjoy your ice cream
Absolutely.
valley. Thanks for
And
hanging
I hope
out.
that, and I'm setting the intention that this Venus retrograde transit is everything that it can be for you. in a good way
Naturally.
and more.
Naturally.
There are a few other transits that's been
Cool.
going on. You guys have been hearing
like
me
that.
talk about the North Node and everything.
I gave you a
So
follow back.
every time I
Thanks
talk about the
for
North
thanks for
Node,
rating
I
me.
flub it up.
How'd you find my stream?
It's just me and all the thoughts and all
Cool,
the things.
I
and
love
the
that.
charts on my own. So I'm gonna have a video about that coming up soon because there's a lot of change, a lot of transition that's happening right now globally. I know you guys can sense it and feel it. Oh well, hello. Nova just jumped over the gate and she is joining us. I always have to actually have her outside when I'm filming because she doesn't know how to give space. She's not
okay,
very good
cool.
at boundaries.
Cool.
She says that if you're breathing, I'm breathing your airspace too. She's very connected in that way. So, anyways, my loves, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please excuse the random thoughts. I do want to say this, and I honestly didn't even want to bring it to that point, but I want to say this. I've been following this account, Jenny Apple. I forget her last name. Just a second. Yeah, Jenny.
We're listening to some astrology
And,
stuff.
They're following on YouTube. Like,
What
I've been
digit does
following
your
them on
birth year
YouTube
end in?
channel,
96.
on their YouTube channel.
For Wise.
I don't know how I crossed paths with them. I don't know how their YouTube channel was presented to me because I actually use most
You made
of my
pickles
YouTube
today? Like
to
homemade
listen
pickled
to, like,
pickles? Fuck
ASMR
yeah.
Or background music. So I don't really see other people's stuff. Every once in a while, I will watch, lifestyle things or vlogs or something like that will come up. But this channel specifically, I don't know how it came to me, but for over a year, I've been watching her journey with the C word. I don't want to say it because it might be triggery for some. And just recently, we were all kind of, as a group, we were all kind of holding our breath because she kind of fell off for a little bit. She's spending time with family, but the concern was there, great. And she came back. They were doing some testings. We were all hoping for the best, and it came back not what they were hoping for. And I find it so interesting, and I know that you guys can relate, that you can have a connection with someone through YouTube. They may not even know that you necessarily exist so much, and it's weird because, but you just have so much love for them and you hope the best for them, and they feel like you're your friend, or you're rooting for them, or you're inspired by them. And specifically for me, personally, I'm always blown away by their ability to go through this crazy situation related to health, and still there's strength that they can find together as a family to stick together.
Wait, what are you?
To show up
What are
for
you
one-
looking up
you know,
right now,
One another, to
Lilac?
encourage each other, and to be honest, and to give hope, and to even prioritize the children and bring joy and laughter. And I'm bringing this up right now because as I do this video and share this video with you guys today, it's a huge blessing to come on YouTube and pull these charts. But I am a little sad because of that news, and it really, it just really
For
makes
me,
sad.
yes, please do.
And I want to ask
I
you
don't know
guys
where my
to pray
tarot
for
deck
them,
went.
to set intention for them.
I need to
Or maybe
find
light
that soon.
White light, a white candle, or a tea light for them. You know, one of the small ones, and just
The devil for me.
ask for peace and strength for them and their family right now. If you feel called in your heart, it also
Ravage,
makes me
violence,
remember that
vehemence,
life is
extraordinary efforts, force,
very important that we
fatality.
live our lives
That which
and
is
that we show up with a
predestined,
full heart,
but
as
is
often
not
as we
for
can.
this reason.
That your
evil.
vulnerability. This is another family that has just been really vulnerable.
What did you
and
ask it when you
very
pulled that card for me?
transparent and very strong, and strong in the sense that they share their feelings and their fear and their hope. And I know that every single one of us, we have that within us, and that's worth
Feng Shui,
really
birth year chart.
that's
Ancient
worth
Chinese.
really leaning into as
Interesting.
often
So how
as
does
we
that
can every
relate
day.
to,
And I know
like,
that for many of you,
Like the year of the rat and stuff like that.
you know, sometimes you compare your pain or your journey or your joy to other people, and just know that everything that you feel and you experience is so worth it and so valuable and so significant. And that's why I always come on here, and I'm just so
Oh,
quick
you
to
just
give
pulled it.
gratitude
Interesting,
because we're
okay.
connecting. And that's the other thing, is like we may not have been all sitting in the same room, but the love that is here on YouTube, when they posted, my heart broke and I cried. And I know that many of you guys, we sit together too on through YouTube, and it's a really interesting platform because we may not necessarily be sitting in the living room space, but we are sitting together. And as human beings, I'm just so grateful that we have this minimal, just something to connect our hearts. There is a connection there, a link, a line, and a cord of some sort, and without any type of attachment, but just love and support and information and empowerment and faith. And I just really want to draw attention to how beautiful that is, how connected we all are, how when one person is suffering or if one person is happy, it impacts all of us, and how aligned we all are and connected we all are. It is so good to be you, you know, like no matter what we're going through, it's so good to be you because you are another person who can connect with another person. I don't know another way to say that. And I just really want to take this, I know we're talking about Venus retrograde right now, but you guys know how I am. I just really want to take this moment, last final note, that, you know, be nice to yourself. I know we're all excited about certain things and looking forward to certain things.
So what did you
struggling
take
with
to
certain things and
calculate
crying about certain things and stressed out
the
about
Feng
certain
Shui
things,
birth
but
year? Is it
regardless of where you're at in this moment right now,
does it
try
have to
be
do with my
easy on
birth date as well, or
yourself
just the
and
year?
give yourself so much grace and invite in so much grace
Cool,
from the
though.
universe. Me personally, you know, I try to do my best and to show up, and no one, believe me, no one is harder on me than me. And I really try to remind myself to give myself that same grace and that same patience and that same love that I coach you guys through all the time. And at the end of the day, like, if that's all that we're doing, then that's all that matters. And as long as you're just trying to attempt to connect and be a person that is bringing light into this world, even one person, especially now, you have and are living in a true magical purpose. And I'll say this, I really set the intention that peace really authentically, truly floods your heart and floods your whole world and floods your home and floods your car and floods your purse and your backpack or your wallet, like just peace. And I set the intention that love, unconditional love, flow from you, towards you, around you, abundantly. Let it flow. That not one moment that you don't feel seen or heard or loved, I hope that you are acknowledged. I hope that you are supported. I hope that you have faith. I hope that you are healthy. If there are things, ailments that you're struggling with, chronic or temporary, I hope that they give you rest. I hope that they subside. I hope that they go away. And I just wish you well. Honestly, I wish you well. And I ask that you guys wish each other well, whether that be in the comments or whether it just be that, you know, if you say it out loud or you whisper it under your breath.
What year were you born, Lilac?
I wish you well. I wish you well, and I hope that it comes from a genuine place, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all trying. We all mostly want the same things. And, you know, that's good. That's good. I don't know. It's just good. So
You're a bun. You're the bunny. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna play this
Everyone,
video.
I'm Tanas from ForeverConscious.com, and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of August 13th. On
gonna grab
August
the bong, guys.
16th,
I'll be right
we
back.
have the Leo new moon, and all new moons represent the start of a new cycle, but there is something special with this new moon. It really holds energy that is reminding us, kind of supporting us with this idea that it's never too late to begin again, that we can look at things from a fresh perspective, that we can wipe the slate clean and have a do-over, that we can change the way we are choosing to look at things. That is the power held in this new moon. And the other layer that it offers is the layer of simplicity, keeping it simple. So we're wiping the slate clean, we're looking at things in a new light, we are giving ourselves a do-over on all the areas that maybe feel a little sticky or challenging, and our approach or our mantra in how we approach these things is simplicity. How can I keep things simple? How can I look at things through the simplest lens? How can I treat this or move through this problem or situation with simplicity as my goal, as my intention, as this with the steps that I will take? That is what this new moon is offering us. It's offering us a do-over, a fresh start, a wipe the slate clean if you need it, and then it's saying use simplicity to guide you for the next step. And there is a lot of power in that when we can embrace that energy, and this new moon will really be helping us. There is a lot of volatile energy that also comes along with this new moon, and this volatility is really activating all of those Venus retrograde lessons. And that is because Venus is retrograde in Leo, and the new moon and Venus are very, very close together. So their energy kind of merges, and we're getting an activation of Venus retrograde energy. So if you have been tracking the Venus retrograde in your own life, you're likely to notice a lot of stuff coming up to the surface. Maybe even a turning point. Last week, or on the 16th, we had the Sun aligning with Venus, which represented the rebirth of Venus, and now we're getting this new moon with Venus very active. So there's a turning point here with the Venus retrograde energies. There's an enhancement, there's a kind of climax point, if you will, of all of this Venus retrograde energy. So if you've been tracking the Venus retrograde in your own life, you're going to maybe notice that. If you're like, I have no idea what Venus retrograde is, or how do I even look, what's this going to look like? Venus retrograde really triggers our relationships. That's kind of its first level. And so this doesn't just have to be romantic relationships. It can be relationships with your mother, your father, an employee, an employer. It can be with a co-worker. It can be with a friend. Venus retrograde gets us rethinking our relationships. It also gets us rethinking our relationship to money. And especially when Venus is involved, usually it's something to do with profits. We maybe realize that something is not as profitable as we thought it was going to be. We may realize that something we thought that might be lucrative is actually not that lucrative. That's usually when money is concerned with Venus. It's usually to do with profits and sort of the return that we're getting from the energy that we've put out. The other thing that Venus retrograde can trigger or bring to the surface is our values. And it can bring up maybe a need to change some of the values that we have been leading our lives with. Things that once were really important may not feel that important anymore. So those values may also come up to the surface. Venus can also tap into beauty and our feelings around self-worth and our appearance, and then also reproductive health. That's another thing that Venus retrograde can trigger. So these are kind of the main areas that Venus retrograde can bring up, can highlight, can get us to look over. So relationships, friendships, stuff with money, stuff with profits, our values, reproductive health, all of that is kind of in the basket with Venus retrograde. So all of that could be triggered under this new moon, or different areas of that could be triggered under this new moon. You may feel a little bit of all of it, or a couple of those Venus retrograde themes coming up under this new moon. It is a big one, but come back to that idea that we can wipe the slate clean, that you can begin again, and that you can use simplicity as a guide, as a way to bring more joy into your life. It doesn't have to be complicated. How can you keep it simple? And through that simplicity, how can it lead you to joy, to a greater joy? Something to think about as you move through this week and as you navigate any of the things that this new moon might bring up for you. So that's the core energy for the week. We're going to be feeling that new moon energy all through the week. As I mentioned, Venus is very close to this new moon, plus on the 13th, Venus aligned with the Sun, and that brought about the rebirth of Venus. So again, big, strong kind of Venus themes this week as we navigate this retrograde, which is almost at its end point. We still have a little bit to go, a few more weeks to go. It comes to an end on September 3rd, 4th. So we're kind of in the heart of it at the moment. But we're working through that, and as I've said before, the goal, the end goal with a Venus retrograde, whatever it's bringing up for you, is a more open and expanded heart and the ability to receive a greater love. At its core level, Venus retrograde is helping us to shed and release blocks that stop us from feeling love, from realizing that we are the love, and from receiving and giving love. So that's what we're working on. That's what this new moon is guiding us to navigate. I hope you found that helpful. You can find more at foreverconscious.com. I'm Tanaz. Thank you all so much.
Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the new moon coming up in Leo on the 16th of the month, and broadly about the second half of August. But just before I get to the astrology, a lot of people have been writing to me and asking for a knee update. So just to say, I am just overwhelmingly grateful for the healing I've been sent. It's it's been very humbling to feel that much love, to be honest. And some of you might remember that after tearing my meniscus and various surgery last year, that by autumn I really couldn't walk across a room without sticks. It was extremely painful. And yes, most certainly the blood plasma injections helped a lot until I tripped in early April, and that put me back a bit. But absolutely, the healing, all the healing I've been sent has made a huge difference, because I'm taking it very gently day to day. I do a lot of knee exercises. I daren't go out cycling too far in case I get stranded, so I don't cycle outside, but I've got a static bike inside. Lots of knee exercises, and if I stick to flat, even ground, I can walk for an hour, a little more, without sticks, and being very careful. Nothing dramatic, nothing quick, no twists or lunges, or the hills are harder, particularly downhill becomes very painful, but if I take it very gently day to day, I'm doing remarkably well considering the amount of damage, structural damage in the knee. So I'm still managing to avoid major surgery so far, and that's really down to you, all of you who've sent me healing. So, thank you a millionfold. If it's easy for you to continue to send, absolutely fabulous, but only if it's easy, because there are other people in greater need than me, I'm aware at the moment. But still, yeah, I'm still wishing in that complete miracle, because I am somebody who very much believes in miracles and have experienced several in my life already. So, but thank you for all the love. Now let's talk about the astrology. Just one thing I didn't mention in the last update, because it was just already such a full video, was what's known as the Lionsgate portal. And because I'm filming this on the 1st of August, I do want to mention this. This is a portal which is exact on the 8th of August, but the whole energy covers from the 28th of July until the 12th of August. But the 8th of August is the peak. And this really stems back to ancient Egypt. And because in ancient Egypt, this was round about the time, this is when our sun, our spiritual sun, which is Sirius, Orion's belt, and the earth come into alignment. That's what this is about. And in ancient Egypt, this was the time when the river Nile rose. And this was a very much welcomed event, because it meant that it was fertility and abundance, water to irrigate the crops, fertility, abundance, new life really coming back to the people at the time. So this is something that they always welcomed and very much celebrated. But in a spiritual sense, this is a gateway to galactic energy. It's really a portal to higher consciousness and greater spiritual awakening. And many of you I know can already feel this energy, and it's being much discussed on social media. So really welcome it in, and do find time on the 8th to meditate if you can, to take time out. And but it's going to be very strong this year, and it's going to be very strong next year and in 2025. So it gives us an opportunity. We get again these peaks in solstices, equinoxes. Lionsgate is very much a portal to higher consciousness. It's going to give us another potential leap, another real jump in our consciousness, to give us a very different perspective on our reality. So just wanted to cover that, because I'll be putting out this video before the 8th. So August is unusual because it has 3 lunations. It had the full supermoon in Aquarius on the 1st of the month. We've got the Leo new moon on the 16th, and we've got another full supermoon on the very last day of August on the 31st, which I'll be talking about in the next video, because otherwise there's just too much to cover. It's very interesting to me that really just a few days before that Aquarius supermoon, and remember Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and it's very much connected to the galactics and to aviation. It's kind of out there, that we had a lot of UFO disclosure in the US. We had a series of US congressional hearings about these disclosures, which is very exciting. I mean, we know that we're made of stardust. Even Professor Brian Cox says that. And as I said earlier, he's not a fan of astrology, but we came from the greater galaxy, and we are beginning to step back into our galactic citizenry. So for this news to come out, I think is really exciting. And there may be many people whose work you follow who channel galactic beings, whether it's the Pleiadians or the Arcturians or whatever, and they come through with a great deal of love for us, because as I understand it, in the evolution that the Earth is going through, this is a real key, a crucial part of the evolution of the greater galaxy. So that's why the galactic beings are taking such an interest in where we're at as humanity, and very much supporting our evolution, which is really wonderful. And for many people, we can feel that love coming through. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen for the new moon, because there's a lot to talk about here. So as always, a new moon is planting a new seed. somewhere in your chart to set a new intention for what you want to manifest in your life. So see where 23 degrees of Leo falls in your chart, and if you don't know, you can download a free birth chart from our website. Go to the link below this video, get a 2-part video series, and that will take you from zero, a standing start, to understanding where these points fall in your chart with each update I do. It isn't a personalized birth chart, remember, it's a teaching. They are teaching videos for you each time to find these points in your chart and begin your astrological journey of what it means for you. But these sun and moon are in Leo. And here in this chart, we have 5 planets in fixed signs and 7 planets in fire. So this is a very, very dynamic chart. Now, on one hand, 5 planets in fixed signs can make us extremely determined, tenacious, won't give in. But I think there's also a strong sense, particularly with Uranus in Taurus, that we are really bringing in some very different belief systems, some very different thinking about what we may have accepted as beliefs in the past. And this new moon really supports that. 7 orbiting bodies, they're not all fully planets, some are asteroids or dwarf planets, but 7 of them does suggest that it's going to be quite a hot summer in the northern hemisphere. So Leo is the sign linked to confidence, a creative vitality, a love of life and exuberance, a natural leadership, you know, being a hero in your own life, being a leader in your own life. And it's very much about, in its best expression, about you wanting to shine, and also helping others around you to shine. Because when you shine your light, that's exactly what you're doing. You're infecting other people to do the same. It's the sign that I'm most linked to sovereignty, actually, of all of the signs, and really encouraging us to step into our sovereignty in a big, big way. And of course, this is what this ongoing T-square between Pluto and the nodes is about. This ongoing T-square between Pluto and the nodes. Remember, normally a south node isn't shown in a chart, but this is around our choices of fear versus love, of victim versus co-creator, and Leo is most definitely on the sign of co-creator. But I talked quite a lot in the past about Haumea, dwarf planet, being one of the strongest symbols we have for New Earth. Beautiful mythology. She's highly creative and regenerative, and with her magic stick, the Makalai, she could produce wild food from the land, even if it had been laid waste. She's an incredibly regenerative principle. And I just want to quote the words here from Alan Clay. Alan Clay is the chap who runs the Dwarf Planet University, with some superb research into many of these dwarf planets. And he's talking about Haumea as the higher octave of Neptune. And Neptune, of course, is our psychic sensitivity and its unconditional love and connection to source. But what Alan Clay says about Haumea, and I think it's really beautiful, is Haumea takes the psychic opening of Neptune and turns it into real psychic connection with the oneness of our existence and the magic of being alive. Wow, isn't that beautiful? The magic of being alive. And this sacredness, our sense of interconnection to all living beings, to nature, to the earth, this is what we're going to begin to rediscover as we move more fully into New Earth consciousness, which is here already, as we know. So let me point out some of the important things in this new moon chart. Now, a couple of things I haven't actually put in here, but just to point to. Black Moon Lilith is at 24 degrees of Leo. Black Moon Lilith is linked to the orbit of the moon, and I won't go into the technicalities, but essentially her symbolism is about wild, instinctive feminine. Totally, a little bit like Eris, very much divine feminine, totally uncompromising, and very much stands for freedom and justice, as does Eris. So she's conjunct this new moon. And in addition to that, reinforcing these themes is Uranus, our planet very much representing individuality, speaking your truth, is exactly by degree square to the sun and moon. So this is really reinforcing this theme of stand in your authenticity, be the real you. Uranus transits always highlight what we have already outgrown and are fully ready to step into. So this is encouraging us, particularly with the Leo energy, to be brave, to be courageous, to really be authentic and different, even if it runs up against the collective that you have been part of in the past. This is the time to really step out, and that's very, very important. But to do it with love, because Venus is conjunct the sun and moon here, Venus and Leo. And this potentially is, together with Black Moon Lilith, is actually quite rebellious and revolutionary energy. It's very interesting that this new moon falls on the sun, SUN, of India and Pakistan. And Pakistan, of course, is seeing huge protests and pushback by the people against their what they perceive to be an overpowerful government. So it's very interesting. So we'll see what happens to India and Pakistan in particular at this new moon. But again, staying with this theme, and I haven't drawn Eris in this time, but Eris is at 25 of Aries. So just here conjunct this north node. So that means that the new moon is trine to the north node and trine to Eris. So remember, Eris, another aspect of the divine feminine, feisty street fighter, stands up for certainly protest, but justice, truth, equality, everybody needing to be heard, everybody having a voice. So between Black Moon Lilith, Uranus and Eris, we have some very clear themes, and particularly because Eris is conjunct that north node, it's directing us, yes, this is your future collective destiny. This is your path of soul's growth for the collective. This is what you're meant to be expressing. And that conjunction between the North Node and Eris will become exact in September, October this year. So it's going to get stronger. Uranus, as always, you probably can play this bit yourself. Uranus square to the sun and moon. Uranus is also linked to earthquakes. Remember, we've got 2 full supermoons this month, so that raises the potential for seismic activity. It's about earthquakes of all kinds, political, financial, literal, volcanoes, shocks, surprises, again, revelations. It's about truths coming to light. It's about the galactics. It's linked to aviation. It's linked to power grids, cyber attacks, that kind of thing. Now, Uranus becomes particularly strong, not only at this new moon, because it's exactly square the new moon by degree, but on the 29th of the month. 29th of the month, and we will feel that because it turns stationary retrograde then. And whenever a planet, particularly an outer planet, moves stationary retrograde, its symbolism is magnified. So we're going to have a lot of Uranian energy towards the end of the month, and that's running right into that other full supermoon on the 31st, with much stronger pull on the tectonic plates. So I think seismic activity, extreme weather events, all very heightened at this in August in general, around the new moon and also into the end of the month. But I think galactic disclosures could continue, and it's absolutely the right time for those to happen. I mean, Pluto is going to move into Aquarius next year fully for 21 years. We are going to see a lot of galactic contact, galactic news coming out, and just more and more of us, stepping back into that remembrance of that's where we came from, which I think will be, truly wonderful, actually, and very, very exciting. This is such a unique evolutionary opportunity that we have right now in current time. We're in this crucible of change. It's not next week, next month, next year. We're right in it right now. So don't miss it. It's also Uranus, both now and later in the month, particularly in Taurus, to do with unstable geomagnetics. And of course, we've had a lot of that. We've had absolutely kind of exponential number of solar flares. As I've mentioned in the past, you can follow these very easily on spaceweather.com. We are currently in solar cycle 25, and that was supposed to peak for the sun's activities in 2025, but scientists have now pulled that date back to late 23 or early 24. And just if you follow the number of kind of solar storms, M-class, X-class flares, they are, remarkably multiplied from just 2-3 years ago. So there's a lot of instability around the geomagnetics. Now that in turn is feeding Gaia's evolution, but also humanity's evolution. So although it's very disruptive and destabilizing for us because we're having to assimilate these new energies so quickly, nevertheless, these are key ingredients, new information from far galaxies for our evolution. New ingredients in the cake, let's say. Okay, so other things to focus on here as well. There's such a lot to talk about here. We have Jupiter trine to Mercury here. And this is a lovely aspect for big ideas, thinking big, big philosophical ideas, and very much ideas for the future, bigger horizons, linked to Earth, agriculture, that kind of thing, because it's in Taurus. And it will also help anything to do with any project you're working on that's very detailed. Jupiter will expand the mind with this trine to Mercury, which is wonderful. But the Virgo side wants to make us very exact and precise and right in getting the detail right in any kind of project you're working on. But Jupiter can kind of expand the mind out and give us the big picture as well. So it's going to be good on detail, but also good on the big picture. And this may be also, I think, very helpful because the mind is activated here because Mars is conjunct Mercury. So this is going to be particularly good if you're working on anything which is to do with practical service to others, which is what Virgo is very much related to. Or health. Virgo is also related to health and nutrition and good diet, good food, that kind of thing. So it's very helpful for all of that. The other thing is this is actually forming, I don't know if you can see this here, an Earth grand trine, because Uranus, and remember, Uranus is very connected to the future as well, along with Jupiter, is trine to Pluto. That trine becomes exact 5 times between 2026 and 2028, which is very fortuitous for us in terms of a creative blossoming with a lot of innovation. But Pluto is also trine, as is Uranus, back to Mercury and Mars. So this is a wonderful equilateral triangle, if you like, a grand trine in Earth. And this, I think, is about really starting to build new structures for new Earth. Uranus in Taurus is another very good symbol for new Earth for us. So these may be related to physical structures because they're all Earth signs, may be related to forms of agriculture, food growing. It may be related to systems in some way. I mean, Mercury likes to get everything categorized and running like clockwork, things in the right place, but it's also very, very related to health, as I say. So we could have new ideas coming in around foodstuffs that can help our overall health or our digestion, but it's also related to building new physical structures for new Earth. This could be more more housing, more community projects, that kind of thing. Uranus. The other thing which is important to say is that Mars is widely being opposed by Neptune here. Now, this, in one sense, in a less positive sense, Mars is our goal setting, our point of focus, and when it's in hard aspect to Neptune, Neptune can kind of dissolve, so we can kind of lose focus, we can lose the goal, we can lose energy and enthusiasm for whatever we're working on. You know, we don't have the enthusiasm for it anymore. It just sort of dissolves. But this is excellent for any type of spiritual action. Now, this can be literal spiritual action like yoga, tai chi, qigong, that kind of physical activity. But it also can be physical action, again, in terms, could be related to being of practical service and food. It could be helping out on your local soup run or working in a food bank. Your practical service to others and helping people with feeding, as it were. So let's now come back to Leo energy, because I just want to remind you, and I may well have mentioned these things at previous years about the heart, but it's so important. We are birthing new earth from our hearts more than our heads, because we're birthing it from love. And again, I had a wonderful interview with Veda Austin last night, and I'll put the link for that below this video, and the importance of love in our world and what she's discovering in her water crystals. But there's a very respected institute in America, who many of you may have heard of, called the HeartMath Institute, who do a lot of work into the physicality of the heart, the physiology of the heart, but also the spiritual aspect of the heart. And they, from their testing, know that the heart's electrical field, we are electrical beings, remember. And isn't it interesting? Uranus is the planet of electricity, and it's in tight square to the new moon in Leo, linked to the heart. Leo is heart energy more than any other sign. Anyway, the HeartMath Institute talk about the heart's electrical field is approximately 60 times greater in amplitude than that of the brain, than the electrical activity created in the brain. So the heart sends much more information to the brain than the brain does to the heart. And remember that we infect other people with that toroidal field of the heart. And in particular, and again, Veda talked a lot about coherence yesterday, when we are in a coherent emotion, like love, joy, peace, gratitude, compassion, those are harmonious, coherent emotions. There's a sort of consistency, a regularity to the energy. And the HeartMath Institute Research Director, Dr. Roland McCratty, defined coherence as the state when the heart, mind, and emotions are in energetic alignment and cooperation. He said it's a state that builds resilience, physiological resilience. And that means that you are better able to cope with the challenges in life, the difficulties, and there isn't a person on this earth, I don't think, that isn't having some challenges right now. And so what's really, really important, and I don't think I've said this clearly enough recently, but it's really important that we are aware of what's going on in the world. We are aware of the really terrible things that are going on in the world in many respects. The war, the death, the disease, the poverty, it's horrendous. And I'm never ever suggesting spiritual bypassing and don't be aware. I'm very much saying be aware, but don't negatively engage your emotion with fear, panic, anger, anxiety, hate, any of those things, because then your own field becomes incoherent becomes kind of jaggedy, like interference on the television set, where your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems are out of sync. It's all jaggedy and jumbled, and that actually produces erratic heart rhythms, as well as an incoherent state in your heart's toroidal field. And again, you're infecting other people with those energies, very directly, because we can't cut off our energy, our frequency. There's no boundary to it. So our mastery, this is so important, our mastery comes in, yes, being aware of the awful things that are happening in the world, but despite them, staying in a state of positive equilibrium. Despite knowing that, those things, staying in a state of positive equilibrium. And this is what the great spiritual masters through the ages have said. Know the difficult stuff, but that's the mastery. It's not just spiritual bypassing. That's easy to do. Not going to look at that at all. That's easy. So I really want to clarify that. So think of your heart as a transmitter, because it is. Your heart, very much linked to Leo energy, is a transmitter of love to the world. And that's how we infect the collective, and that's how we make a change in the world for the better. The more of us that do this, the more of us join into that energetic tsunami of love, the faster this shift towards a more beautiful world is going to happen. So just looking slightly further down the timeline, just a couple of other things to touch on. I'll stop sharing my screen right now. On the 21st of the month, we have a quincunx, exact quincunx between Pluto and the Sun. That could be around about that day where you see some power play, either in the world, somebody, might makes right, somebody throwing their power around, either in your own personal life or in the world, because that day we also have this is a repeating aspect, but nevertheless it coincides on the same day, the moon square to Pluto in opposing Eris. So it's highlighting that, where is the power? Is it coming from the individual, or is it coming from top-down structures? On the 22nd of the month, we have an exact square between Venus and Jupiter. Venus is at 15 of Leo, Jupiter at 15 of Taurus. So see where those planets fall in your chart, different houses, because either in one house or the other, it can very often bring some joy, some success, some love even, some abundance into your life that's, transitory, but to be welcomed, very nice. 23rd of the month, Mercury starts to move retrograde, 21 of Virgo, and actually by the end of August, we have 6 planets retrograde. Now, it's been typical over the last few years that we have the outer planets moving retrograde at this time of the year. And remember, Uranus also on the 29th moves retrograde, as I've just been talking about, until the 27th of January. So this is a time, although there's a huge amount happening in the world, it's certainly not going to be dull, it's going to be extremely fast moving in the world, but it's also a time when we are going to be called to go inwards, to reflect, to be introspective on all that's been happening in our lives and how well has that worked. What do we think about how those planets, when they were direct, have played out in the world, our part in that, and how we may want to shift our actions, our behavior, our belief systems, our frequency, our point of focus to make a change, particularly starting from, I'd say, September, going into eclipse season in October, when more of the planets start to move direct, and we really do gather momentum, I think, in a very different direction. So be aware of those sort of longer term patterns. But coming back to Leo, and really, not just for this new moon, but really try and bring yourself back to the heart as often as you can, and live from the heart in your emotions. Try and live from love as a state of being, as I so often say. Drop into your heart as often as you can. Imagine you're breathing in and out through the heart. And another lovely, incredibly simple technique is to imagine that you have there's a little fire or a little flame at the center of your heart. And if you can bring your point of focus to that flame, to that light, and that point of absolute stillness, that is a beautiful place to create from, to create your reality from. You know, really, stillness is magnificent because it brings peace and it brings coherence to our energy field. As often as you can, of course, you can get that in nature, bare feet on the ground, etc. But thinking of this Leo energy and sovereignty and stepping into our individuality in a much bigger way, there's a beautiful quote, and I actually used this in my first book, but I still absolutely love it. It gives me goosebumps every time I read it, and it's a quote from the author Martha Graham. I really would like you to think about this because it's so right for all I've been saying about this new moon. So this is from Martha Graham. She said there's a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that's translated through you into action. And because there's only one of you in all of time, it's true of your birth chart too, remember, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist in any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. Wow. So this is a big encouragement for all of you that tend to pull back, that hide your light under a bushel, that say, oh, I'm not young enough, pretty enough, smart enough, rich enough. None of that matters. You're unique, and you have a unique essence that you were created to. If you take it often helps to take the personalization out of it. That takes the nerviness out of it. And just think of yourself as a unique essence that divine intelligence wanted that contribution to be made to the world right now. And that's why you incarnated. For that unique expression that is you in a meat suit, that contribution to be made to the world right now as part of our evolution. So don't do yourself a disservice. Step into your mastery, step into your light, and shine your heart's brilliance and your love to the world. Because that's what's going to make a difference. I hope that's helped you. Even more to talk about in the next update when I'll cover the full supermoon at the end of the month and then the first half of September. So if you'd like more information about my books, my teaching videos, my long monthly newsletter, just check out my website, pamgregory.com. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Lots of love and bye for now.